carrying on, last year at this time, we adopted our Strengthening Our Foundations report. And so the past year has been one of transition as we work within the new framework outlined in that document. As with many things, it is only in the actual workings of processes that one sees what is missing or what is working well. And so it is with us. Some aspects are working well and some require a little adjustment. I would just like to say many thanks to our hardworking staff at head office, especially at this time of year, as they have been working frantically behind the scenes to bring us all here to this lovely hotel for our AGM, multiple meetings, and a board meeting tomorrow. These amazing people help us in so many ways to be able to do what we do it more professionally and effectively. So I'm going to read off the names of all of our head office staff, and at the end of it, I would encourage you to join me in a round of applause for them. So we have our Executive Director, Carolyn Fast, our Registrar, Angela Burns, our Deputy Registrar, John Gothrop, our Executive Assistant, Andrea Curran, our Member Services Coordinator, Marcy Zoratich, our Communications Coordinator, Alana Eilert. We have Donna Nee, Professional Practice Coordinator, Sarah Clucci, Registration Coordinator, Linda Mary Bluma, our Finance Officer, Janine Toombs, our Events Coordinator, Kim Carver, and Joan Paul, our Reception and Office Support Staff. Thank you so much to all of you. One of the things that I wanted to do before we get into our agenda is just mention a few things about the Caton Report. How many of you know about the Caton Report or heard some things about it? A few hands, okay. In March of 2018, BC's Minister of Health, Mr. Adrian Dix, announced the appointment of Mr. Harry Caton, who was then CEO of the United Kingdom's Professional Standards Authority. He was asked to conduct a review into the administrative and operational practices of the College of Dental Surgeons of British Columbia. And Mr. Caton was also asked to review BC's Health Professions Act and its regulations and provide recommendations to help modernize the regulatory system in BC. That report came out in April. And so the impacts of the report are an interesting thing to consider for BCACC. Recommendations for the wider reform of the statutory framework for health profession regulation in British Columbia may have implications for the creation of a College of Counselling. What those implications are is yet to be determined. However, it is clear that the government is considering major amendments to or the entire replacement of the Health Professions Act, under which we have been seeking professional regulation for many years. Three things we know. At this point, the government of BC has accepted all 21 recommendations made in the Caton Report regarding the College of Dental Surgeons and has an immediate implementation plan from that college. The Minister of Health has established a steering committee to consider options and draft a proposal on how to modernize the regulatory framework for health professions in BC. The committee has until the end of 2019 to determine a direction and any next steps. As a step in the review process, the public has an opportunity to comment on the Caton Report. So if any of you are interested in taking advantage of this opportunity, please speak to Carolyn at some point after our meeting, and she will provide you with the relevant information. The third thing that we know is that existing health profession colleges have been asked to consider proposals for amalgamation where appropriate. And so as an example of that, the recent amalgamation of the 3 nursing professions, who are registered nurses, licensed professional nurses, and regular, what are RPNs? Psychiatric, thank you. Registered psychiatric nurses into one college. And they became the British Columbia College of Nursing Professionals, and that happened in 2018. It would be reasonable to assume that any significant change with counselling in BC. BCACC will continue to monitor the government's response to the Caton report, as well as initiating dialogue and providing feedback as and when appropriate and necessary. And as a member of FACT BC, we will also continue to support its work in response to the report. FACT BC is currently working with the Ministry of Mental Health and Addictions on counsellor regulation, and now will expand that consultation to include the understanding of the implications of the Caton report on our status and future. So folks, this does have a big kind of question mark up in the air as to what's going to happen to us, where will we end up, if they're going to slide us in with another college, who will that be? So many questions, and we are on top of it and staying kind of pretty glued to anything that comes out that we can be responsive to. So I just want to let you know that piece, because I think it is a concern for all of us. So moving on with some of the business of our AGM. First of all, can I have a motion to adopt our agenda? Thank you, Irene. And the other motion I need is an adoption of the minutes of the 2017 AGM. Jane, thank you. I will now call upon Mary Miller, our treasurer, and Carolyn to come and present the audit and finance report.